2017-18 Qatar diplomatic crisis background. Since he took power in 1995, Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani believed Qatar could find security only by transforming itself from a Saudi appendage to a rival of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia withdrew its ambassador to Doha from 2002 to 2008 to try to pressure Qatar to curb its individualistic tendencies. This approach broadly failed. The Arab Spring left a power vacuum which both Saudi Arabia and Qatar sought to fill, with Qatar being supportive of the revolutionary wave and Saudi Arabia opposing it. Since both states are allies of the United States, they avoid direct conflict with one another. Qatar has had differences with other Arab governments on a number of issues. It broadcasts Al Jazeera, it is accused of maintaining good relations with Iran, and it has supported the Muslim Brotherhood in the past. Qatar has been accused of sponsoring terrorism. Some countries have faulted Qatar for funding rebel groups in Syria, including Al-Qaeda's affiliate in Syria, the Al-Nusra Front, although the Saudis have done the same. Qatar has allowed the Afghan Taliban to set up a political office inside the country. Qatar is a close ally of the United States, hosting the largest American base in the Middle East, Al Udeid Air Base. The exact reasons for the diplomatic break-offs are unclear, but contemporary news coverage primarily attributes this to several events in April and May 2017. April 2017 hostage negotiations. In April 2017, Qatar was involved in a deal with both Sunni and Shiite militants in Iraq and Syria. The deal had two goals. The immediate goal was to secure the return of 26 Qatari hostages, including Qatari royals, who had been kidnapped by Shiite militants while falcon hunting in southern Iraq and kept in captivity for more than 16 months. The second goal was to get both Sunni and Shiite militants in Syria to allow humanitarian aid to pass through and allow the safe evacuation of civilians. According to the New York Times, this deal allowed the evacuation of at least 2,000 civilians from the Syrian village of Madaya alone. What outraged Saudi Arabia and the UAE is the amount of money Qatar had to pay to secure the deal. According to the Financial Times, Qatar paid $700 million to Iranian-backed Shia militias in Iraq, $120 to $140 million to Tahrir al-Sham, and $80 million to Akrar al-Sham. Riyadh Summit 2017. As part of the Riyadh Summit in late May 2017, many world leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump, visited the region. Trump gave strong support for Saudi Arabia's efforts in fighting against states and groups allied with Iran and the Muslim Brotherhood, leading to an arms deal between the countries. The Business Insider reported that Elliot Brody, a top fundraiser for President Donald Trump, and George Nader, Brody's business partner, pushed for anti-Qatar policies at the highest levels of government, and expected large consulting contracts from Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Trump's support may have induced other Sunni states to fall in line with Saudi Arabia to take a stance against Qatar. Trump's public support for Saudi Arabia, according to the New York Times, emboldened the kingdom and sent a chill through other Gulf states, including Oman and Kuwait, that fear that any country that defies the Saudis or the United Arab Emirates could face ostracism as Qatar has. The Saudi-led move was at once an opportunity for the GCC partners and Egypt to punish their adversaries in Doha, please their allies in Washington, and remove attention from their own shortcomings and challenges. Hacking of Qatari websites. According to Qatar-based Al Jazeera and the American FBI, the Qatar news agency website and other government media platforms were hacked in May 2017, where hackers posted fake remarks on the official Qatar news agency attributed to the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, that expressed support for Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Israel. The Emir was quoted as saying, "Iran represents a regional and Islamic power that cannot be ignored, and it is unwise to face up against it. It is a big power in the stabilization of the region." Qatar reported that the statements were false and did not know their origin. Despite this, the remarks were widely publicized in the various Arab news media, including UAE-based Sky News Arabia and Saudi-owned Al Arabiya. On June 3, 2017, the Twitter account of Bahraini Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa was hacked. Initially alleged intelligence gathered by the U.S. security agencies indicated that Russian hackers were behind the intrusion, first reported by the Qataris. However, A U.S. official briefed on the inquiry told The New York Times that it was unclear whether the hackers were state-sponsored, and The Guardian diplomatic editor Patrick Winter reported that it is believed that the Russian government was not involved in the hacks. Instead, freelance hackers were paid to undertake the work on behalf of some other state or individual. A U.S. diplomat said that Russia and its ally Iran stood to benefit from sowing discord among U.S. allies in the region, particularly if they made it more difficult for the United States to use Qatar as a major base. The FBI sent a team of investigators to Doha to help the Qatari government investigate the hacking incident. Later, The New York Times reported that the hacking incidents may be part of a long-running cyber war between Qatar and other Gulf countries that was only revealed to the public during the recent incidents, and they noted how Saudi and UAE media picked up the statement made by the hacked media in less than 20 minutes and began interviewing many well-prepared commentators against Qatar. U.S. intelligence agencies believe that the hacking was done by the United Arab Emirates, according to a Washington Post article published on 16 July. The intelligence officials stated that the hacking was discussed among Emirati officials on 23 May, one day before the operation took place. The UAE denied any involvement in the hacking. It was announced on August 26, 2017, that 5 individuals allegedly involved in the hacking were arrested in Turkey. Al Jazeera. In May 2017, the email account of the UAE's ambassador to the U.S., Yusuf Al-Otaiba, was hacked. The emails were reported as embarrassing by Al Jazeera, because they showed links between the UAE and the US-based Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Arab countries saw the media coverage of the alleged email hack as a provocation by Qatar, regardless of the lack of affiliation of Qatar to the hack, and deepened the rift between the two sides. On 9 June, Al Jazeera's media network was the victim of a cyber attack across all its platforms. Yusuf Al-Otaiba has been reportedly linked to buy influence for UAE-led campaigns in the White House.